Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network. Where?
Well, it looks like there's something rotten in the state of the Netherlands.
Sorry.
We are the first on to that. So.
Can't stop playing that guy.
No.
He's talking about Big Donor.
Yes.
That new kidney donor show. I'm sure that'll be coming here. Spin-offs. You know, because we'll get the spin-off, the local spin-off.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Australia's got organs.
Yeah, it's one where they donate a brain to Reggie.
Oh, hang on.
Well, that was fish in a barrel.
Yeah, shock jock, man.
We were talking yesterday about TV spin-offs.
Yes.
We just started nattering
Most days
on
we talk about
something
this.
we had queued up fell through, and so
Yes.
we just went to our default setting,
Yep.
trivia. And the phones exploded.
Yep.
People were calling up with their spin-offs and, Gilligan's Island, Dusty's Trail.
That was yours, Tone.
It was Gilligan Out West. Look it
we
up.
know.
It
Yeah.
really happened. And they did have equivalents. We were saying who were the equivalents because they had Bob Denver as
Yeah,
Dusty,
that's- yes,
nay
yes.
Gilligan. They couldn't get the captain,
No.
so they got Forrest Tucker
Oh, yeah?
from F Troop.
Right.
Keep going.
and
Keep
they-
going.
and
Has
they
he,
had-
has he done anything in this decade or century? What's
I can't remember F Troop. I am too young for F Troop. But
My
somebody did once point out to me that the opening theme song of F Troop is the exact same storyline as Dances with Wolves.
Is that right?
If you think about it,
Well, because the end of the Civil War was near when quite accidentally
yeah,
What happened? What happened?
some blood was spilled,
Yes.
yeah.
and F Troop.
Yeah, see, we should know those
remember the
lyrics.
rest of it.
But if you follow it through, he's plagiarised Dances with Wolves from the theme song of F Troop.
Unbelievable.
Do you reckon there's a movie in the opening titles of Perfect Strangers then?
How does that go again?
Man rides goat from small country to San Francisco, then rides ferry and amazes at bridges.
That's not a spin-off. That is not a spin-off. We're talking spin-offs today. Spin-offs and sequels.
Okay.
It doesn't just have to be TV shows. What about movies? Because one of the best Australian movie websites is Movie Hole.
Ah, yes.
Clint Morris runs that little thing, and it's a top old read.
Did you have a crack at Bad Eggs when it came out?
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Is that why I'm being nice about it?
No,
Are
I'm
you
just wondering.
suggesting that?
No, I'm just wondering because you have all of those people in the bank upstairs on the list.
What about this, though? He's got a hell of a bank. The worst movie sequel of all time. He's got a list of them on the site.
What's he got?
And you can go along and add to the list.
Okay.
Oh, he's got the Matrix sequels. He's got the
be cool.
Look Who's Talking sequels.
Oh, yeah.
The Crow sequels, The Fly too. That was very poor. Garfield too. I can't believe they did that. He's left off Caddyshack too, which is my personal.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you think they didn't have Rodney? There was no Rodney.
No, that's true.
They subbed in Jackie Mason.
Not as good.
Where's my Brun Danish?
Yeah, no.
That's not the same.
That's not the same. Is it?
Not the same at all. And there was no Bill Murray.
Bill
No,
Murray.
Bill Murray.
And Chevy Chase just looked like he'd come in for half a day in a dressing gown and gone, just shoot whatever I say and put it in the film. I'm off to my trailer.
Yeah.
And who else was in that? Oh, Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd was in that.
in his
boy.
bad
Yeah, not good.
loose cannons period. Wasn't that a bad trough? That was a bad career trough. My stepmother is an alien.
Ouch.
Nothing but trouble.
Oh.
One after another. That's my vote for the worst movie sequel. But we want to go movie. We want to go TV.
Okay.
Bands. You know, bands that have spin-offs.
Oh,
Remember Duran, Arcadia. Oh, ouch.
Oh, jeez.
Forgotten that, hadn't you?
Yeah. Arcadia.
Yeah.
Who was in Arcadia? Was that
I think it was Simon Le Bon
Simon Le Bon breaking out on his own?
and Nick Rhodes. In other words, pretty much everyone who was Duran for the next 15 years.
Oh, really?
On paper, it sounds fantastic,
Yeah.
but I'm imagining the music wasn't much to call
much
home
chop?
about. Yeah.
What about adaptations, Tone? Because I once saw a play adaptation of Reservoir Dogs at university.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
How did that go?
Not as violent. The acting was...
Did they throw minties out to leaven the violence?
But there was... Then they did a version of Macbeth, which was great because it was around the time The Matrix came out. So, of course, all of the fight scenes had the compulsory Matrix style added to them.
Of
So
course.
everyone was wearing the black leathers.
Yeah.
Anyway, at one point they had the big fight right at the end. Right at the end. Yeah, kicks and people with sticks missing each other by meters and then falling to the ground and clutching their face and stuff. And one guy, he was a bit of a kickboxing guy who was in the cast.
Yeah.
And he was fighting a particularly short man, and just somehow he landed a really good kick right in the middle of his chest, and the crowd went, oh, and started clapping. That kid then fell backwards through one of the doors that was off stage and hit someone that was getting changed. So there was a man
Fantastic.
with no pants on who got struck by a door.
This is when theatre comes to life for me.
And he screamed, "Shit!"
See?
And he got,
Suddenly Macbeth is fun.
and he was in hysterics. People were clapping, and then he had to come back on later on, and he was limping really, really badly, trying to play like a courtier, delivering as a messenger, holding his side.
It's hard to pass off
good.
shit as authentic Shakespeare, even if you throw my liege on after it. Really works. Okay, we're looking for bands, books,
Yep.
movie spin-offs.
Yep.
Books. Did I say books?
Yeah.
Oh, because I saw a book the other day. How's this? Jane Austen.
Yep.
Fancy old author
Very
from the
fancy.
olden days.
Very fancy.
Hasn't put anything new out for years. That's not going to stop us. Check this out, ladies. Mr. Darcy's Diary.
Oh.
Someone's written a thick paperback book, Mr. Darcy's Diary, just because everyone liked Colin Firth and that Pride and Prejudice. That's surely the only reason.
That's not cool.
Mr. Darcy's
That's not
Diary.
cool.
Today, put those pants on again.
Ah.
September 3rd, still wearing those pants.
Fell in the lake today.
Who would buy Mr. Darcy's Diary?
Not this, not me.
Well, I can imagine it wouldn't. But, as freaky as it sounds, it'll be a bestseller, I guarantee.
This is what I saw in the Jane Austen section of the bookshop. There's now a book, and I swear this is true, Jane Austen for Dummies.
I knew that was going to happen.
For dummies.
I could go with that.
And then I went along a bit further, and they had The Secret for Dummies, and I opened it up. It was just The Secret.
There you go.
We want anything that's
Yeah.
spun off.
Yeah,
Enos, remember Enos?
Oh, yeah.
The deputy from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yes.
Got his own spin-off series.
The Michael Richards show where he was a detective. This 2 years after Seinfeld. Didn't even last one series.
Is that technically a spin-off, though?
I don't know. I mean, it's the same actor, but different character.
I don't know if that really counts.
All right, then.
I think the tribunal might have to look into that one.
How about the Electric Hippies? A band that put out one album that are two members of the Noiseworks, and it was better than, and I'm not saying the Noiseworks are terrible,
you are.
but if people are fans of them, that's great. But it was the one album was better than anything the Noiseworks
that
ever
right?
did. Yeah, Greedy People, big hit.
Richard Marsland doesn't want to offend the Noiseworks fans.
There's a few around.
Shock jock, Richard Marsland.
Who knows when I could work with John Stevens in the future?
That's true.
Hi, Karen.
Yeah, hi. I'd say Ocean's 12 is probably a dodgy spin-off.
Ocean's 12, and now there's Ocean's 13 coming.
I know they are, but I've got to have a go at Richard Marsland. I am a Noiseworks fan, and I think they're fabulous. So thanks very much, Richard.
Oh, the mafia's coming after me.
Hey,
You better believe it.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah?
Are you also a fan of the Baywatch theme as well?
Would you believe I have got that on my iPod? My brother gave it to me.
It
So-
fits. It fits.
Yeah,
Well,
Ed
what
is...
is it? Fits how?
Well, it's sounds a lot like most of their tracks.
Oh, we're
Some
going
people,
Oh, it
some
does
people
not.
suggest.
Let's not have a Noiseworks argument.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to Hot Chili Woman. We're in all sorts
Now-
of trouble.
Hang on, we've got 1927 fans queued up to take issue with us. But
What's wrong with them either?
No, nothing.
nothing at all.
Oh,
But the Ocean's film, so why was Ocean's 12 an unnecessary sequel? Because really, nothing much,
it was crap.
not much
Well,
happened
there
in
you
it.
go.
But it won't stop me from seeing Ocean's 13, unfortunately.
No, it's probably the same here, actually.
Thanks, guys.
But there
Thanks,
was,
Karen.
I think the poster for either Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12 in Australia was them all just walking up this carpet. And if you have a look, it's a beautiful metaphor for the state of Hollywood. You've got the glamorous white blokes at the front, then the Latino bloke, then the black guys, and then the women at the
At
back.
the back.
Get this on Triple M, the number one listening favourite of our elected parliamentary representatives.
Well, yes, of course. And you know what? We listen, Tony. I mean, if you're trying to throw a humble pie in front of me and say, Joe, swallow this, I'll say I'll plead guilty. I'm listening. The government's listening. You know what's worse is that the government stops listening.
Oh.
And we are listening.
Okay, I think Andrea Powell's here. Give her another
Hello,
round.
Andrea Powell.
Hello, how's things?
Oh, good. I did that Joe Hockey clip. It's interesting because people are calling up saying now that Kim Beazley is gone, can't we make our theme music the Joe Hockey theme? Nah, it's not right.
He doesn't have the swagger.
No, but I noticed there he has got the food metaphors coming down his way.
He is starting to think
You're
pie.
trying to throw a humble pie my way and see if I eat it. Well, no. I don't think anyone was suggesting that.
It's a good hint, though, isn't it? If you're trying to give me a pie, Tony, an apple pie with cream on it, little bit of dipping sauce.
If you
for
wanted
some-
to do
for
that.
some
Maybe
chips,
followed up with a BLT.
Then,
perhaps
I'd be
and
listening.
toasted white bread. Yeah. I think he's just doing a bit of a fatty boomba.
Oh.
He's obsessed with food. But no,
Look,
it can't be
serious political issues canvassed on this show. And another thing we mentioned in the last hour, Andrea, you across that book, The Secret. I know everyone's talking about
Oh,
it.
isn't it extraordinary? Look, I haven't read it myself, but I had this dreadful telemarketing job until recently. Thank God I'm not there anymore. But the boss was obsessed with The Secret.
Really?
And not that he ever mentioned it,
All right.
but he had a list of things on his wall
Like
that he
what?
wanted to achieve. First of all, there was earn $1 million,
All right.
buy a Maserati. And
Yeah.
the third thing was the most interesting to me, begin a relationship with a girl. And we had to ring up our customers. We weren't laughing at that. And you had to say their name 3 times in the
Oh,
first.
that
So
old trick,
let's
yeah.
say I've rung you.
Yes,
And you
okay.
go, hello.
Hello.
Is that Tony?
Yes, it is.
Tony?
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, Tony!
Is this a bloke who
And
wants a
then
relationship with a girl again? Stop pestering me.
You had to say their name 3 times and then laugh like a maniac.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then apparently that translated to sales. I tell you, if someone rang me up and spoke like that, I think I'd call the police.
But
Psychotic.
I like how he knows exactly what brand of car he wants.
Yeah.
But in terms of a partner, a girl will do.
Not sure.
Don't know what type or
Not
what
sure.
kind.
Now, look,
That's all right.
I'm sure The Secret is working for a lot of people because
No,
there are
you're
just
not.
stacks of it at every shop I
No, but
go
they
to.
sold a lot of ab blasters. Nobody's walking around with washboard abs as a
No,
result.
Well, but this guy did keep some interesting things in his refrigerator. He had some eggs in there and he'd drawn smiley faces on all of them.
Yeah.
Is that in The Secret? Is that what you meant to do?
Well, I think that was just, you're meant to be kind of positive and jovial, and that
Right.
was his way around it. And next to the eggs in the fridge, I saw a prescription for some antidepressants. I just think it was all a little bit sad, what with wanting to begin a relationship with a girl.
Just get his copy of The Secret and open it up and it's hollowed out and there's just antidepressants in there. But hang on, I understand the gist of it is just say what you reckon you want to happen, think that it's probably going to happen, and yeah, it probably will.
Yeah.
Isn't that like how? Is that The Secret? Have I spoiled the book for people?
think
there?
so.
I think
yeah.
you have ruined it. Yeah. I think that's basically it, isn't it?
I don't
Being
know.
positive or something.
We should get it in here. Maybe we've got to put Richard Marsden to the test. Get him.
Yeah,
to
Rich, what do you really want out of life?
Road test a secret.
Yeah.
Maybe
No,
do
what's
something
your,
like that.
what's your top 3 things in life, Rich?
You got to write him on the wall like that bloke.
Yeah,
I'm going
come
to be
on,
a
Rich.
millionaire. I'm going to have a Maserati, and a girl would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
What about you, Rich?
Well,
Top
it'd
3.
be nice to have more than $900 in the bank.
Okay.
That would
That's
be great.
one.
A
You've got to
car-
stop visiting hookers. I mean, they're really expensive, Richard.
We'll go to cheaper ones.
Talked about this before.
I wouldn't mind a car that's newer than 11 years of age.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe something that was made offshore
Just name something, Rich.
and a foreign car.
A
and,
Honda.
And also, I would
A
love
larder.
A larder, yeah.
What's wrong with the Nissan Navara?
The
Not good
Nissan
enough
Navara,
for you.
that's what I need.
And what else, Rich? One more.
My own TV show.
Oh.
TV
Wow. He doesn't want much, does he? I've been trying to get one of those for about 50 years. And I'm only 40, so that's...
It's Get This Around the Nation on not Triple M. Just for a few minutes, we're going Triple AM. What's got your goat today? Let's welcome our special comments expert. Ethel Chop is here.
There's thanks. Now, yeah, all right. Not in a strip club now, Richard. Now, look, Tony, you've been to my house, haven't you?
Yes,
A couple of times. So you
sure.
know that I know all about home decor. I mean,
Oh,
you only
you
have to
do.
lay eyes on my plastic hall runner, corduroy easy chair, and collection of toilet roll dollies to see that, don't you?
It's beautiful stuff, Ethel.
Yeah, and I'm colour coordinated too.
Certainly are.
All the purple, brown, mustard, and burnt orange. You know, Vogue living, eat your heart out. So, having said that, is cream a good colour for lounge room furnishings, do you think?
Oh, I don't know about that.
What kind of a normal, clear-thinking person would buy themselves a cream-coloured couch? Well, I'll tell you, my daft daughter, Rhonda, I mean, it's pretty, sure, but as I said to her, I said, that thing won't be cream for long, and lo and behold, next thing it was covered in brown muck. I said, oh, what did I tell you? I won't be sitting there again. The couch is filthy. I don't know how she thought screaming at me would get it clean either. She really is a dreadful housekeeper. But, Tony, the whole house is cream. I mean, and stainless steel and glass. You know, that new modern look? It looks like a mental hospital. I mean, well, her husband's not right in the head. Oh, the way he flies off the handle whenever I let myself in. You know, he's insane in the membrane, if you ask me. I mean, He really should install a shower curtain. Anyway.
You think with your guidance, these things would be sorted?
Oh, look, they don't listen. You know, the other day he was drawing up plans for a pool. I said, there's no room for a pool out there once you built my granny flat. Are you blind? Oh, he's an idiot.
He's an
Wayne,
idiot.
I like to call him Stubby, actually, because he's always holding one. Oh, he loves that. Yeah. But the world's gone mad, hasn't it?
It has gone mad.
Oh, look, you know. And that House of Rondas, I've got to say, people seem to need all this space now. The houses are... I mean, we didn't need all that space growing up.
No, McMansions.
Oh, we all lived and slept in the one room, and it was marvellous. You know, it saved on heating, and it kept us all very close as siblings. I mean, my brothers Stan and Gwen, they were the closest, and they're still close today. In fact, they're married. There we are. Modern relationships are marvellous, aren't they?
Well, there's a lot of issues canvassed there. Here on Triple AM, it's a chance for you to have a whinge about anything. Ethel, I mean, are you willing to canvass any topic? If our listeners call up,
go for your life.
You know, there's not many windows of opportunity like this on the FM dial where you can just call up and be a nutbag about some trivial issue.
Yes, and it's a crying shame. There ought to be more of it.
Whole stations are founded on this. Why not have a dip?
Hi, Jess.
Oh, I want to have a whinge about Channel 7 and MASH.
What have they done?
They cut the crap out of every single episode and you end up only getting half the episode on air.
Oh, it's not since Black Addergate has there been such a controversy. What have they been losing? Could you give us an example?
Well, the last episode that I watched, Charles was obviously trying to get home, as he always did.
Yeah.
And they cut out half the conversation with Colonel Potter.
Oh, you should be grateful. Oh, MASH! I mean, for heaven's sake, if it was a new series, I'd understand. But who hasn't seen every episode of MASH 100 times anyway? Oh, they should cut more out of it and cut the entire thing.
Would you like to see more TV shows cut down in length, Ethel?
Yeah, most of them. I think that also some of the shows need to be longer. For example, I'd love it if Deal or No Deal went to 3 hours. Oh, because, come on, that's comedy gold.
We can but dream. Jamie, are you there?
Yeah.
What's concerning you, sir?
Well, I'm in a band, right? And we just started our national tour of Australia, just like on our own. And first show in Adelaide. We've all got down to Adelaide and we're waiting for our bags to come out and the guitars. The only thing not to show up is my bass guitar.
Oh.
Those baggage handlers, man.
Oh, they're all hopped up on amphetamines.
Oh, yes, it's probably in Bali by now, full of crack.
It went to Darwin for some reason.
Oh,
well.
Mel Corby all over again.
Yes, true.
And what exactly kind of music we took? Do you mind naming the band, Jamie?
Set the pace.
Because Ethel Chop is into across all of the modern genres. How would you describe your sound?
It's poppy punk, kind of rock punk.
Oh,
for
that
the
sounds
younger ones.
ghastly. So basically you just assault people's ears with instruments. Is that what you do there?
Check it out at the MySpace and check it out.
I couldn't be. I'd rather set fire to my own legs. What a waste of everyone's time.
Well,
MySpace.
Thank you, Jamie.
Another
Best of luck.
satisfied customer. Who else needs to be set alight? Ed Cavalier.
Hi, LJ.
G'day, Ed. You appreciate this one, being a KFC boy and all.
Yes.
Look, they took the pineapple off the Works burger and changed the sauce and didn't tell anyone about it. I ordered it 3 times. I thought they gave me the wrong burger at drive-through before I actually asked the question.
Yeah.
Are you serious? They've changed the recipe for the Works burger?
Pineapple gone, not cost-effective.
And they're saying the sauce is different too.
The sauce is filthy tomato relish.
Oh.
I thought it was limited time burger, but that's the way the Works burger is now, the end.
Oh, and do you think this has happened as a direct result of Ed Cavalier being taken off the ads?
I'm concerned there's a link.
Oh, really?
You remember the Tower burger, Ed?
I do, very well, sir.
Yeah, with the hash brown.
With a hash brown in it.
Yeah, they took that away too, because that wasn't cost-effective.
Do you eat fast food, Ethel?
No, I don't. But I made my own devils on horseback not long ago and was very disappointed to notice when I was eating them that I'd purchased smoked bacon instead of regular bacon from my butcher. I was outraged, as you can imagine, and I took the said bacon back to his meat shop and threw it in his face.
There you go.
You know, because people have to be told, don't they?
Well, maybe.
I reckon you should do the same thing with your burgers.
Okay,
Fire in the hole.
yeah, give a bit of fire in the hole action. There's
That's
no
it.
pineapple on this.
That's the way.
All right, let's move on. Who else is flinging their own muck about?
Hello, Billy. How are you?
G'day, boys, and Ethel.
Have a win, son.
Well, just first up, I'd love to agree with LJ there. The Tower Burger, best burger at KFC ever.
You know it.
But I would like to officially whinge about that moron that tried to veto the what animal would you steal from the zoo segment.
Oh, yeah.
It's someone here at the station. Were you a big fan of What Animal Would You Steal from the Zoo?
That was one of my favourite call-in topics. I do have an actual real-to-life true story.
Yes.
Happened at the Sydney Zoo.
What happened?
Like this, I don't know, teacher that works at a disabled school.
Yep.
Took some kids to the zoo for the day,
Yes.
as you do.
Yep.
One of the kids, late in the afternoon, goes missing. Can't find him anywhere.
Right.
So zoo closes. They're starting to panic just a little bit because they can't find this poor little kid. This kid just randomly shows up, just walking down the path, absolutely drenched to the bone, but he has the biggest smile I've ever seen on his face.
Where was he?
Gets home, Mum's unpacking his bag, opens up his bag, finds a penguin in his bag.
A penguin.
A real life penguin.
Lovely. They're delicious.
Well, I don't know that we can condone this.
No. What do you think, Ethel?
Look, I think that was a rather long story. But anyway, what I think is that kiddies always get themselves lost at the zoos and public places, don't they? Oh, they're hopeless.
yeah.
I mean, I remember I took my daughter Joyce to the Darwin Bottle Bank in 1969, and it took her a good 10 years to find a way home. She was a bit of a dill, that girl.
We certainly can't condone
No.
penguin theft.
No, not at all.
Here on Get This at Triple AM. Please, another round for Andrea Powell, who's back.
Hello. Oh, I took a quick break down to put some money in my meter and all hell breaks loose.
Oh, did you hear some of those whinging phone calls?
I did. Yeah, they were tops.
Because you've done some call centre work in your time, haven't you?
I have actually. One of the first call centre. Well, I worked for the police department on the switchboard.
Is that right?
Yeah, when I was 18.
Solving crimes?
No, on the 000 emergency line. So you have to, 000 emergency.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, there was this woman that used to ring up like once a week or something, and this old woman, and she'd ring up and you'd be like 000. She'd be like, "Is that the police?" I'd say, "Yes, it is the police. Can I help you with your emergency?" And she'd say, "Yes, the police department are all lesbians. You're all lesbians. The whole department." And then hang up. Every week, and she'd get us every time. It's like, oh, good old Edna, whatever it was.
That bloke in Poland woke up from a coma. He's been in a coma for 2 decades. Apparently one of the first things he said was, "What do you mean Guns N' Roses still haven't released that album? Where's Chinese democracy?" He's saying, come on.
He's right. He's right.
Hey, what about, it's Friday, all jokes must go. So many stories you've been sizzling up at the top of the show. We've never got to. What was that thing about Charles Manson?
Well, Charlie Manson was up for parole.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
Oh, you're joking.
So close.
Had he carved something offensive into his forehead? Might that have...
That's the point I'm trying to make, Tony. I reckon
sorry.
if I was going for parole, and you look at him now, look at that, he's got a beard happening, big eyebrows, Burt Reynolds style, and a lovely hairdo. The only problem is that everything is bushy and wild.
Yeah, that's true.
But the hair is perfectly parted, just so the parole board can get a good hard look at the swastika on his forehead.
Maybe he's got to carve something less inflammatory into his forehead.
It does not matter what you're saying. If there's a swastika on your forehead, that's all people are seeing.
I like ponies.
Yeah, exactly.
Having picnics.
Will not kill.
Reformed.
Reformed. You got to try and turn the swastika into the word reformed. It's not going to work, Charlie.
On some legal news, police in New Zealand are puzzled after, of course, when are they not?
I know.
I mean, there's 3 New Zealand crime shows on TV. There's not one for Australia.
No.
Like, we don't have cops here.
No.
They get 3 out of New Zealand.
There's a lot of dodgy cars.
That's right. In Meta, what's going on in Meta? Well, listen to this. Police are puzzled after burglars broke into a police station and locked themselves in a cell block. The intruders got into the police station through a window, but as they entered the cell block, a self-locking door closed behind them.
Which you'd never think a cell would have.
Why? They don't say why they were doing it. Nothing was missing. You'd like to think they would just continue that. They would have to then be forced to tunnel their way into court for the trial. and then somehow smuggle themselves into prison for the long-term sentence.
Disguise themselves as washerwomen to get into prison.
Just keep it going, guys. You've started this thing. Take it home. What is going on over there, Mr. Marsland?
I've got something from the world of hot air ballooning.
Oh, at last.
It's quite sad. I'm not sure if we all noticed this, but the guy called Paul Ed Yost, considered the father of modern hot air ballooning, has died at his home in New Mexico at the age of 87.
Oh, that's very sad.
He actually piloted the first flight of a balloon using the envelope and propane burner system he developed. Amazing stuff back in 1960.
Wow.
And his body, his final resting place, according to his wishes, will be stuck in power lines.
Change for $1.
The cheapest.
It must be Friday.
Change of 7 cents.
Rich had his joke face on.
No. Screwed it up.
Anyway, what about some of the funniest stories that were in the newspapers?
We look for them.
Well, firstly, there's a complaint to the Melbourne Age this morning. Listen to this. I was shocked that the story about a man who was killed and cooked his girlfriend's guinea pig was published as the humorous Odd Spot in the paper last week. Running out of funny stuff from the Odd Spot. But their rival paper, The Age of Melbourne, the rival paper is the Herald Sun. I reckon there's a competition on. Because listen to what their Sunday funny was. A Chinese woman has been cured of 64 years of recurrent headaches after doctors removed a bullet that had been lodged in her head since World War II. Oh, those mad cat World War II stories. Shot in the head. There's your Odd Spot. It was natural causes, according to the Jamaican police.
Maybe they had all of the shooting stories laid out in front of them.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, somebody got shot in the hold-up. It's not hilarious.
No.
It's funny, but it's not hilarious.
No.
An old woman's been shot in the head. What's that? What's that?
I guess by comparison, that's funny.
It's hysterical.
To the first one. Somebody's just called in, Cass, to say a bikini massage place has opened in Rosebud, Victoria. Now, is that so unusual?
No, I don't think. Maybe they're saying that it's an outrage because they're more clothed than usual.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
they put the bikinis on and that's what they're upset about.
See, it only took a week for them to get rid of the car wash component
Yeah, it did,
entirely.
yeah.
That was holding the business back. Look, it's our first ever co-host, Peter Rowsthorn.
Hello.
Yeah, that's right.
Extra big round
First
for
come
Mr.
off the rank.
Rowsthorn.
Gee, I tell you what, it's been a long break
It's a lot of
since I've
fireworks.
been back.
When was the last time we had you in?
Pre-comedy festival.
Oh,
sorry.
You know, but it's all right. New releases the backup. It's a huge
There was a backup. And
Relax.
you've been off shooting...
Kath and Kim.
You have?
for-
Which,
yeah.
tell us,
Yeah.
first episode, what happens?
I can't say anything because
See,
that's our contract.
Just
we
the
can't
fact you've
say anything.
been filming it, that's
Yeah.
more than we got out of Glenn Robbins over 6 breaks.
Oh, he's very good at keeping secrets. But it has been on Sold to 7. We know that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is, that was in the paper, so I can
Okay.
say that.
Yep.
Shane Warne's in it. That was in the paper. I can say that.
Warnie's in it, yeah.
Yeah, we knew that. Those is all stuff you know.
Yeah, come on.
There's
what
no
else?
guests. What else? I got gypped in
You
the
got
contract. Yeah,
you
got
got gypped?
Yeah, I got gypped.
Your contract, really?
Yeah, I got gypped.
But surely now that's on 7, big bucks for everybody.
Well, yeah, that's what I would have thought.
A car, maybe?
We negotiated. Negotiated. I go
Spot on
hard.
It Takes Two.
I go
You
very
could have
hard.
been you.
In fact, I was asked. No. turned down.
Really?
Yeah, turned down.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good list. I've got a proud list of turn downs.
If we
That'd be
asked
one
you-
of them. So takes that one. Take
Yeah,
that-
what
is that
else?
it's
What
called?
other recent
How's
ones?
Gilbo going, by the way?
Gilbo got knocked out.
Get off, did he?
Yeah.
Because the swimmer started crying, so now everyone likes it.
Oh, Daniel Kowalski?
No. You
What
know
a girl.
The problem was we
I
got
shouldn't say
behind
that.
Gilbert. Yeah. As soon as we get behind something, it just goes arse over.
So when did you get stuck in behind him? The week before?
Yeah, exactly.
This is shocking.
Sorry, Gilbert. Hang on, you're saying you've been gypped, so
Oh,
contract...
sorry, yes. So
contract
I've
trouble?
negotiated my exorbitant fees,
Mm.
which are enormous.
Oh, yeah, we know
It's
you.
amazing cane and
Yeah.
large pimp hat and bling you're wearing today,
I know.
Rowsthorn.
I know. Yeah. You seen the new car? Check it out.
Solid gold.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing is gold.
A Nissan Navara made of gold.
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, they make them if you ask for them.
Fantastic. So what are you going to do? You're going to cause some trouble? Maybe quit the series for one, Dukes of Hazzard style, sub somebody else in.
Who would I sub in?
But you need somebody who's not going to be as good as you.
Bob Denver.
Bob Denver.
Wow,
Gilligan.
it's a
Oh,
long
Gilligan.
shot, but give it a go.
That's Gilligan. Yeah.
Is he still dead or?
Is he dead? Is he dead? Did he pass on? Is he not
I'm
with
not
us?
sure. He's doing boat shows according to The Simpsons.
Hilarious.
He might be dead.
I don't know. I've been mistaken for Gilligan a few times. Who else do I get mistaken for who can film? Paul McNamee. I used to get mistaken for him when I had curly hair. Yeah.
The tennis guy.
Yeah, a tennis guy. Yeah. Head of Tennis Australia.
How about Duncan Armstrong?
Duncan Armstrong. Get a bit of
You've
Duncan.
got a
I've
touch of the
Duncan.
dunks about you.
Yeah,
You could play Dunk in the Duncan Armstrong telly movie.
Well, they making a telly movie
They
for Dunks?
should.
They should. Because
It's an amazing story.
Where's
It's
the-
a huge story.
What's happened to the Todd and Brand story? Shouldn't that be on by now?
No
Have
dice.
they made a film yet?
We had that cast, the bloke who was Kenny and Dave O'Neill,
Yep.
ready to go, with Ardle O'Hanlon as Bill Shorten in the bomber jacket.
Who's Dave O'Neill?
Dave
Is he Brand?
Yeah,
is he
Brand?
Brand?
He's Brand. Shane Jacobson. Okay, so you're not going to tell us anything more about...
Oh, look, I really
him?
can't. It's impossible.
Is it on
I was
this-
there this morning doing some revoicing of things.
Oh,
Really?
a bit
Because
of-
clearly my acting wasn't strong on the day. I had to go back and redo a fair bit of it.
Did
today.
you have to do any where it was swearing? They had to get rid of the swearing?
No, I never swear.
You know, like in RoboCop, when the guy just suddenly his voice changes and he goes, "Airhead!" Just for one word. Love a bit of that.
Very
All right.
good. Sorry, you got nothing out of me for Captain Kim. But that aside, though, it seems very strong.
And is it...
I don't think it's lost anything, except it'll have ads in it, which would be a bit of a downer.
Oh, okay.
I presume. I don't know.
But surely it'll be on a much more spectacular scale.
No, it'll look the same. Crew was the same. Cast was the same.
I was imagining them living on, like South Fork from Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
So they live in a huge mansion. Get around with coiffed hair.
Now, it's series 4 of Kath and Kim.
It is, yes.
See, normally about now, they'd all be going to Spain on holiday. If
Yeah,
it
we
was
went to
a British-
Queensland. We went to Queensland.
Queensland. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to get anything
I said
out of
something.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the papers as well.
Oh, was it?
Okay, Ed Cavalier is thinking of having children just for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got some kids, some of them, or at least one of them
One
is
of
here
them.
today.
One of them's there with a friend. Just, yeah.
How many in total, Peter?
Four up. Four out so far, yeah.
Who's the best?
Who's the best? Is she listening, you reckon? Is that, we don't delay it there. Just, can you block her ears? Just, yeah. I think Frankie's the best.
Frankie's the
Frankie?
best this week.
I
isn't
hear
it?
Frankie's really
She's the third one.
been kicking goals.
See, we don't. Well, obviously, our producer Nikki Hamilton has one child, another one on the way, but nobody on the mics here has kids, and as a result, there's a severe deficit in nappy changing stories, which every radio show needs.
Oh, gee.
So Ed's thinking of
I
taking
can do it without
one
looking now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Wee ones. Easy. You can do I can do it without even looking.
See,
It's like touch typing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I'm thinking, look, I don't know, Pete, because we had these kids in, and some of them, the Patterson Lakes kids,
they were
lovely.
great.
Some of them. But I was telling you off air, we had one on and he was giving it like, not telling.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Acting like a 10-year-old.
How do you deal with that?
Well, you just got to go, stop that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a proper answer.
And if they don't?
They go,
Oh.
you do it.
Oh.
That works
Yeah.
with a lot of guests, actually,
Yeah.
Ed.
Oh, look, it's a very hard thing to stop. I have trouble saying to Maggie, who's out there, who was my favourite once.
Really? What happened?
Well, she turned 12.
Oh, okay.
And
Downhill
she's
from
just,
12.
Geez, hard work now.
Really?
Yeah, it's real awful, Anyway, so she says like before everything.
Oh,
Like,
yes,
It's
yes.
like, it's like, and I just go, hang on.
Yeah.
You just don't have to put the like in there. Just take the like out and just talk like a normal person. It's cool.
Just
Don't worry
talk
about
like a normal
it.
person.
Yeah,
Oh, see, it's
Do it
infectious
yourself.
though. Once you
It's
start
very
doing
hard.
it.
It is, because she hangs around with a cousin. Just come back from Perth, hangs around with a cousin who says it all the time. Suddenly she starts thinking
Bad
straight away.
influence.
Bad influence.
Hey, do any of your kids have bad influence friends?
Well,
'Cause
Tess, the one who's out there now,
Really?
Maggie.
Yeah, 'cause she was trying to sell ice in the
Yeah.
sales
She
department.
does,
That
I know.
was-
She's
I
unbelievable.
thought that was a bit
Kids
much.
today.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
you've got to adjust for the
It
modern
was actually
kids.
real ice. Which is,
No, yeah,
it wasn't
no,
a drug. It was just
no,
ice.
Of course not.
Exactly.
But servo. But what
Bags
about?
off.
Do they come up with catchphrases? The kids. What? Okay, they've got the like. What other phrases are they zinging at you?
Singing out things like "I hate you, Dad."
Oh,
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, get out of my room.
She's got a T-shirt with that one on.
Or you clean it up.
Oh, yeah.
Things like
That's
that.
very hot.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was young Mitchell from Patterson Lakes Primary School. He coined a catchphrase for our program.
Which
That's
was,
a bit gay.
yeah, well, yeah, sure, that's one.
Works for anything. I don't know.
Just on a quick side note, has Ed often been scratching his nuts as much as he's been doing for the last 30 seconds whilst I've been talking to him?
That's a bit gay.
Sorry.
It's a station promotion he's working on.
It's working beautifully.
He's doing it for
I'm starting
charity.
to do it myself now.
He's doing it for charity. It's for a good cause. It was either that or a slippery pontoon.
Some people walk to Brisbane. I scratch my nuts. 67,
Fantastic.
67 hours
All he does
non-stop.
is eat and scratch his nuts.
It's a life. It's a life.
It's a life journey.
You watch. Other shows will be doing that next.
They will.
Scratchy Nuts Fridays.
You listen to what's his name?
Alan
Nemo.
Jones, he'll be scratching his
Will
nuts.
and Nemo will be scratching their nuts.
No,
all
everyone will
afternoon
be
this
on the
afternoon.
scratch. You wait.
Joe Stanley will be into it.
Well, are your kids too old for the Teletubbies?
Yeah. Oh, no, Billy's not. She's a brand new baby. And Frankie, who's my favourite one.
Yeah.
She's, she hates them.
Really? Because I see this happened here a few years ago, but now Poland has turned on the Teletubbies. They're worried that Tinky Winky is gay.
What? Because he carries a bag.
Carries a bag.
That's a bit gay.
Okay.
There you go.
And according to the Polish government, Tinky Winky may be promoting homo agitation in schools. Homo agitation. I feel some homo agitation coming up. I've got homo agitation. Get away from me. Homosexuality.
That's a bit gay.
Hey, but maybe if you dressed up in a Tinky Winky costume, you could get into that gay pub in Melbourne. They'd let you in.
Yeah. Right this way, Mr. Winky.
Because I know a lot of blokes who live around that pub are worried that they're losing their local boozer because they're not gay enough.
Yeah, right.
If you want to go and just get the Tinky Winky costume,
Grab
straight
the
in
bag.
front of the queue.
I have one at home.
It's
I bet you do.
We do. I've got Lala and Tinky Winky's costume at home. Not adult size, in a child size.
Do you have
but
a lot
you can
of
if you squeeze
formal
it. They're
wear?
quite funny.
I'm guessing in the wardrobe of your place, Peter, a lot of Can We Help merch.
Oh, gee, we've got stacks because we love our Can We Help merch. We have walking sticks, little buzzy scooters,
Pacemakers.
pacemakers, false teeth with Can We Help bling on the front of them.
Adult diapers.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Is it
Fantastic,
still on?
actually.
You've been coming in
What
for
do you mean,
over a
is it
year.
still on?
You've never once managed to tell us when it's on in a year.
6:30 Fridays.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's
Are
the
you
worst.
sure about that?
It is the worst time slot in the history of the world, but it outrates every other 6:30 ABC show.
At
Which
that
isn't a
time.
huge
That's
call.
quite a group.
What are the others?
Talking Heads kills it. Chef and the Cook kills it. Einstein
Patton?
Factor kills it. Test Patton, none of it.
Cop that.
Cop that.
How are you going
Something
against
else and something else.
Thalasar, Stories of the Sea on SBS? Because
Killing
that's the ratings battle that I always watch.
Knocking them out of the water. But look, we're nearly up to 450,000 viewers.
Bang!
That's national.
Per calendar year.
Per calendar year.
Excuses. What about the Japanese? Why are you killing so many whales? Science. Scientific experiments. We need to kill more. They're allowed to kill 1,000 a year. 1,000? Like, wouldn't one be enough for an experiment? 1,000 a year?
They're testing the effects of death on whales.
How's it coming along? And then they're selling all the whale meat in the shops. Oh, that's just a byproduct of the science, apparently.
exactly right.
When are they going to present us with their findings?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
The whale is delicious.
They've got a blowhole.
They can't run 100 metres.
That'd be great. Like, we've killed
Can't swim fast
They
enough.
can't swim. They can't run. They can't do weightlifting.
just like 20 years from now, we have killed 20,000 whales, and the findings are delicious.
Yep.
That's it. Absolutely delicious.
Good with mayonnaise.
Not so good on pogo sticks.
I
Do
think
I?
you need some motivational talk from Rex Hunt.
I do.
You asked me what I did over the weekend. I had it on a loop at our house. Rex Hunt's address to the nation. As we said the other day, it's 16 minutes long, and you really have to listen to the whole thing to get the effect. And it is motivational.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been kissing fish like you couldn't believe.
I'm telling you, it gets you up off your ass and wanting to achieve stuff.
You know it.
But can we have just that bit that Santo Chilaro was talking about the other day? Can we just hear that bit?
100 years from now, I dream that a father and his son will catch a mighty big snapper in Port Phillip Bay. And perhaps, just perhaps, they might remember the fat kid from Mordialloc High School who kissed a fish and let it go. They might also remember the same kid standing up to the thugs in the scallop industry who thought their standover tactics would work again. They didn't. Last week, that fat kid was in Cambridge, 2 hours out of London. A bloke came up and said he enjoyed my show. He gave me a business card. The address was the Netherlands. This is dizzy stuff, folks.
Something rotten.
So someone's walked up and gone, love the show, Rex, and his card just says, businessman, address, Netherlands.
Yeah, that's right. This is dizzy stuff. We were doing that all weekend at our place. Just anything you do can be dizzy stuff. I walked to the fridge. I got myself a glass of water. This is dizzy stuff, folks. What's the most banal thing you did on the weekend?
I ordered some eggs. They came poached. This is dizzy stuff, folks.
Richard, what did you get up to on the weekend?
I watched Marie Antoinette. This is dizzy stuff, folks.
Anything can be dizzy stuff. And we haven't got it queued up. What's the bit about rolling a fat cigarette?
That's right. Nothing was ever achieved by someone who just sat on the couch and rolled another fat cigarette and waited for a handout.
And I was listening to that, and I was sitting at home. I was on the couch. I was waiting for a handout, and I realised in my hand was a fat cigarette. I thought, it's me. He's talking about me, Tone. The fat kid from Morty Alley.
Sorry, I've just got a picture. I remember the article last year about in the Women's Day of Rex Hunt running nude down an alleyway in Melbourne, and someone going, "Is that fat kid from Morty Alley?"
Dizzy stuff, folks. Hey,
he's really gone places, that bloke.
Finally, someone stood up to the scallop menace.
Those thugs in the scallop industry.
Pushing me around for years. Have a scallop, they say. No, I say.
I'm really motivated now.
Get this. Losers who've never done anything but knock. And when asked to make a positive contribution to society, they let you down. Every time, without fail.
Get this. It's Blown Out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.